Have you ever wondered if something you ate before bed could quietly put your health at risk? For so many of us, the foods we eat late at night can seem harmless, maybe even comforting. But what if I told you that certain everyday foods might be insidiously threatening your body? Especially as you get older? In fact, the tragic story of a 76-year-old man who died after eating the wrong thing before bed is a harsh wake-up call for all of us. In this video, we're going to analyze in detail 5 foods you should never eat before bed if you want to protect your health, your energy, and your peace of mind. Each one might surprise you, but understanding the risks is the first step toward making safer choices. And let me promise you this, by the end, you won't just know what to avoid, but you'll also feel completely confident taking charge of your nighttime habits. Stay with me until the very end, because I'll not only reveal each of these risky foods but also explain why they're so problematic, especially for older adults. Along the way, I'll share tips that can help you sleep better, feel more secure, and keep living strong for many years to come. Let's get started. Number 1. The hidden danger of peanut butter sandwiches. One of the most overlooked risks for seniors is eating something as seemingly innocent as a peanut butter sandwich before bed. It may seem like a simple, wholesome choice, protein, a little sweetness, and it fills you up. But for many older adults, especially those living alone or dealing with minor swallowing problems, peanut butter can immediately become a real hazard. Peanut butter is thick, sticky, and has a tendency to cling to the roof of your mouth or the back of your throat. As we age, our swallowing reflex slows down, saliva production drops, and the muscles in our throat aren't quite as strong as they used to be. This combination means that what was once an easy snack can suddenly become a serious, choking risk in the dark hours of the night, especially when no one is nearby to help. Think about how easy it is for a glob of peanut butter or a dense bite of sandwich to go down the wrong way. Even people who've never had trouble swallowing can experience a sudden catch that triggers coughing or, in rare but tragic cases, silent choking. I once heard about a 77-year-old man named Harold from Michigan who enjoyed his nightly peanut butter toast until one evening he woke up gasping, unable to clear his throat, and had to call a neighbor for help. He was lucky. This is not just about choking. Thick foods like peanut butter, especially eaten with bread, can block the airway if you fall asleep before fully swallowing and clearing your mouth. The risk is even greater if you have dentures, dry mouth, or sleep apnea, conditions that many of us deal with as we get older. Why do we reach for these snacks in the first place? Often it's about comfort, nostalgia, or simply the ease of fixing something quick. But as our bodies change, old habits can gradually turn risky. We trust what's familiar and may not realize that our bodies need us to adapt. And sometimes the foods that made us feel safe or cozy decades ago can now pose silent dangers. If you notice yourself coughing after eating, clearing your throat more often, or feeling like food sticks when you swallow, don't overlook these signs. They're gentle warnings from your body. The next time you get hungry late at night, think twice before reaching for peanut butter or any thick, sticky foods. Consider softer options. Or better yet, try to finish your snacks at least an hour before bedtime to give your body time to process them safely. Many seniors feel embarrassed admitting they struggle with swallowing or worry about being seen as frail. But being smart about your nighttime snacks isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Protecting yourself from preventable risks is one of the best ways to keep your independence, health, and peace of mind as you age. Number 2. The surprising risk of cold cuts and processed meats. Cold cuts and processed meats are classic American staples. Easy to grab, full of flavor, and often seen as a quick fix when hunger strikes before bed. But while a turkey or ham sandwich might have been your late-night go-to for decades, these foods come with hidden dangers that become far more serious as we get older. First, let's talk about sodium. Most deli meats are loaded with salt and preservatives. After the age of 60, our bodies handle salt less efficiently, and eating a salty snack before bed can lead to overnight spikes in blood pressure. That might not sound dramatic, but nighttime blood pressure surges are closely linked to increased risk of stroke and heart attack in seniors. When you're lying down, your heart and kidneys are already working differently, and that extra sodium can quietly push your system into a danger zone while you sleep. But that's not all. Cold cuts are often high in nitrates and other preservatives, which can trigger headaches, raise your risk of certain cancers over time, and disrupt your sleep. Many people find themselves waking up thirsty, getting leg cramps, or needing to use the bathroom more often during the night, all because of a harmless slice of bologna or roast beef eaten before bed. It gets more complicated if you're taking medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease. Extra sodium and chemical additives can interfere with your medicines, causing swelling, dehydration, or even irregular heart rhythms. There's a reason doctors warn us to check our labels and pay extra attention to what we eat after 65. I remember talking with a neighbor, Carol, a 74-year-old widow who loved making herself a small plate of salami and cheese in the evening. She told me it helped her wind down, but she started waking up with pounding headaches and swelling in her fingers and ankles. Only after her doctor suggested cutting out late-night deli meats did those symptoms finally fade away. The real problem is that processed meats often seem innocent, even comforting, part of old routines, TV dinners, or family get-togethers, but our bodies change with time. What once was no problem can suddenly turn risky, especially when eaten right before bed. The psychological issue here is that we don't like giving up foods tied to happy memories. Cold cuts might remind you of family picnics or your own childhood. But knowing the risks and making a small change in your nighttime habits can be the difference between a peaceful sleep and an emergency visit to the hospital. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3. The nighttime danger of hard cheeses and creamy dairy. Hard cheeses and creamy dairy foods are favorites for many older adults. Maybe you enjoy a slice of cheddar with crackers before bed, or you wind down with a bowl of rich ice cream in your favorite chair. These snacks feel comforting and familiar, something to look forward to after a long day. But for seniors, dairy at night can quietly set the stage for all kinds of trouble, both while you sleep and when you wake up in the morning. Let's start with cheese. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at digesting lactose, the natural sugar found in most dairy products. Even if you've never had a problem with milk or cheese in the past, you might find yourself waking up at night with bloating, cramping, or even heartburn. It's a sneaky change, one that many seniors chalk up to just getting older, but it often traces right back to that evening snack. But hard cheeses in particular pack a double punch. They're often high in both fat and sodium. Eating them before bed can raise your blood pressure, make you thirsty, and even trigger headaches or swelling by morning. And the saturated fat found in many cheeses has been linked to higher cholesterol levels, a concern that grows even more important after the age of 65. Now let's talk about creamy dairy desserts like ice cream, pudding, or even thick yogurts. These foods are rich and heavy, and while they may taste delightful, they tend to linger in your stomach long after you've gone to sleep. This can lead to acid reflux, causing you to wake up coughing or with a burning sensation in your chest. Repeated episodes of nighttime reflux don't just make for poor sleep, they can damage the lining of your throat and increase your risk of other health problems long term. It's easy to underestimate the impact of a little bowl of ice cream or a slice of sharp cheese. After all, these treats often feel like rewards, small pleasures that make life enjoyable. But the psychology here is powerful. We associate dairy with comfort and nostalgia, making it especially hard to let go of old habits. But holding on to routines that no longer serve our health can slowly chip away at our energy, confidence, and overall well-being. For example, I knew a man named Earl, 79, who always ended his day with cheese and crackers. He never considered that his restless nights and frequent indigestion were related to this routine. It wasn't until his doctor suggested switching to lighter, non-dairy evening snacks that Earl finally started sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed. As we get older, every decision we make about food matters more than ever. Our bodies simply don't recover quickly from late-night indulgences the way they did in our 30s or 40s. So if you find yourself struggling with heartburn, indigestion, or poor sleep, take a close look at what you're eating before bed, especially if it involves dairy. Swapping cheese and creamy desserts for gentler options, like fruit or a small handful of nuts, can make a world of difference in your sleep and overall health. Recognizing these subtle risks is not just about avoiding discomfort. It's about empowering yourself to enjoy the best years of your life with confidence and peace. Number 4. The silent threat of leftover rice and pasta. For many older Americans, reheated rice or pasta is a comfort food. Simple, filling, and easy to prepare, especially if you're cooking for just 1 or 2 people. But most folks don't realize that these seemingly harmless leftovers can pose a major hidden danger, especially when eaten late at night. In fact, improperly stored or reheated rice and pasta have been quietly linked to a surprising number of food poisoning cases among seniors every year. Here's why. When cooked rice or pasta is left sitting out at room temperature, even for a couple of hours, it can quickly become a breeding ground for bacteria called Bacillus cereus. This type of bacteria isn't always killed by simple reheating in the microwave. If you eat contaminated rice or pasta, even if it smells and tastes perfectly fine, you could wake up a few hours later with nausea, stomach cramps, or worse. For older adults, food poisoning is much more serious than a simple upset stomach. It can lead to dehydration, confusion, or even dangerous drops in blood pressure, all of which can send you to the emergency room. The risk is even greater if you store your leftovers in the pot on the stove or forget about that bowl of spaghetti on the counter until the next day. The problem isn't just about spoilage. It's that certain bacteria can form spores that survive cooking and multiply rapidly when left at room temperature. Seniors who often have weaker immune systems are especially vulnerable to these kinds of infections. I once heard from a friend named Ruth, age 82, who loved making big pots of rice to eat throughout the week. One night, she reheated a portion in the microwave just before bed, thinking nothing of it. A few hours later, she was hit with severe nausea and diarrhea. It was only after speaking with her doctor that she realized the culprit was her reheated rice, which had sat out too long before being refrigerated. Why do so many older adults take these risks? Often it's about saving time, money, or avoiding waste. Leftovers feel practical and comforting, and we trust our old routines. There's also a sense of self-reliance, wanting to avoid asking for help or being seen as forgetful. But the truth is, making a few small changes in how we handle leftovers can be a simple act of self-care. Not just for our bodies, but for our peace of mind. To protect yourself, always store cooked rice and pasta in the refrigerator within 2 hours of cooking and reheat thoroughly until steaming hot. Avoid eating any leftovers that have been sitting out overnight, no matter how tempting they might be. And remember, just because food looks or smells fine doesn't mean it's safe. Seniors can't afford to gamble with their health, especially over something as preventable as food poisoning. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5. The Sleep-stealing effects of sugary cereals and sweets. Many older adults find themselves reaching for a bowl of cereal, a cookie, or even a sweet roll just before bed. It feels like a harmless treat, a little pleasure to end the day. But sugary foods at night can quietly disrupt your sleep, leave you feeling groggy in the morning, and set off a chain reaction in your body that's far more serious than most people realize. Let's look at what happens inside your body when you eat sugar before bed. For one, those quick carbohydrates spike your blood sugar levels, giving you a burst of energy just as your body's trying to wind down. The spike is followed by a crash, often in the middle of the night, which can wake you up unexpectedly or leave you tossing and turning, unable to get back to sleep. Even if you don't fully wake up, your quality of rest suffers, leaving you fatigued and less alert the next day. But that's just the beginning. Repeated late-night sugar intake can make your body more resistant to insulin, which is especially risky for older adults already at risk of diabetes or metabolic syndrome. It's not just about gaining a little weight around the middle. Over time, these sugar crashes can put extra stress on your heart, increase your risk of memory problems, and even raise your chances of falls due to nighttime confusion or dizziness. Consider the story of Larry, age 76, who always enjoyed a big bowl of Frosted Flakes after his evening walk. At first, it was just a small treat, but gradually he found himself waking up every few hours, feeling hot, sweaty, or needing to use the bathroom. After talking with his doctor, Larry learned that his late-night sugar habit was wreaking havoc on his sleep and overall health. When he switched to a lighter, protein-rich snack, his sleep improved and so did his energy during the day. Sugary cereals and sweets are also notorious for triggering acid reflux, the combination of sugar and fat in baked goods, for example, can relax the muscles at the top of your stomach, making it easier for stomach acid to flow up into your throat while you're lying down. This doesn't just mean waking up with a sour taste in your mouth. It can lead to chronic throat irritation and coughing, all of which quietly sap your vitality over time. There's a psychological reason these foods are so hard to give up. For many seniors, sweets are tied to comfort, happy memories, or even a sense of reward at the end of a long day. But as our bodies change, so do our needs. What once felt like a harmless indulgence can become a silent thief of your energy, your mood, and your confidence. If you've noticed your sleep getting worse, your energy dipping, or your memory not feeling as sharp, take a close look at what you're eating before bed, especially if sweets are part of your nightly routine. Try swapping sugary snacks for something lighter, like a small apple, a piece of whole grain toast, or a few almonds. The change may feel subtle at first, but over time, your body and mind will thank you. Being wise about your nighttime habits isn't about harsh deprivation. It's about making choices that honor the person you are today and protecting your well-being for all the good years ahead. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on these 5 foods and the hidden risks they bring to your nighttime routine. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Are any of them part of your usual habits? Or is there one you feel ready to change for the sake of your health and peace of mind? Remember, making wise choices before bed isn't just about avoiding discomfort or accidents. It's about valuing yourself and giving your body the best chance to rest, recover, and thrive. Every small adjustment you make is a step toward greater confidence, independence, and energy for the days ahead. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.